Though lions are fierce predators, there are other animals that can fend off their attack. The natural order places them at the top of the food chain, but they aren't alone in this position. Lions are found in both Asia and Africa and are currently an endangered species, thanks to the encroachment of man on the natural habitat. Unusually for big cats, lions are highly social creatures. They travel in prides and care for their mates and offspring on a regular basis. This may be why when this adult lioness found a baby baboon, that she did something completely surprising. The baboon is a very large monkey and can weigh up to 88 pounds. That is when they're full grown. The baboon lives in various regions of Africa and is a ground-dwelling species rather than a tree-dwelling species like most other types of monkeys. Baboons are mostly herbivores but are completely capable of taking up an omnivorous diet. In South Africa, it's not unknown for baboons to attack and eat sheep and goats. In general, baboons are formidable monkeys and they travel in packs, but of course their babies are as vulnerable as babies of any other kind. Our baby baboon was having a seriously bad day already when the lioness caught up with him. His mother had died and the baby remained with the mother's body after being rejected by the pack. This isn't uncommon behavior for baboons. While they are a social species, there is no system of adoption within baboons' tribes, and thus, when a baby is too young to care for itself and its mother dies, the baby is simply abandoned. This baby baboon was just old enough to flee for its life up a tree when the lioness arrived. Sadly, it wasn't fast enough. The baboons darted up the tree. Recognizing the peril that the lioness presented, its heart must have been racing as the very real prospect of becoming dinner for a ferocious big cat made itself known. But the baboons wasn't fast enough. The lioness knocked it from the tree trunk and the baby baboon landed on the floor next to the tree. Evan Schiller, the photographer, and his wife Lisa thought that the baby must be doomed, and their hearts sank as the lioness circled closer and closer to the baby. You can see how frightened the bamboo must be here. The lioness came ever closer to the baboons, and it would have been able to smell her breath and been certain that death was near. But instead of ripping the baboons to shreds and then devouring it, the lioness did something completely unexpected. She gently reached out her paw and began to play with the baby. Not in the way that a cat will sometimes play with its prey before eating it, but in a tender, almost human way. Then ever so carefully, she leaned out and her jaws closed around the baby baboon. You won't believe what happened next. The lionesses picked the baby baboon up, ever so softly with their teeth, in the way that a cat will carry its young. The baboons, for the moment at least, was perfectly safe. The lioness brought the baboons a little distance away from the tree and placed it gently on the ground.
Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
Then she protected the monkey with her forearms. And while the baby baboons looked a little distressed from the severity of its earlier ordeal, the lioness made no move to eat the baboons or to cause it any physical harm. But was the baboons really safe, or was there something else in store? Evan Schiller, the photographer who recorded the moment between the baby baboons and the lioness, said the lioness picked the baby up in her mouth and I was in agony watching the baby's ordeal. I kept on turning off the video option on my camera because it was so hard for me to record. Yet, despite Evan's fears, you can see that the baboon quickly becomes confident that it will not be harmed and begins to gently nip at the lioness, a gesture of play rather than hostility. If the baboons had felt threatened, it would most certainly have tried to flee. It seems incredible that the natural predator, the lioness, hadn't turned on the baboon and simply swallowed him down by now. Instead, the baby began to cuddle the lioness tighter and tighter, and a bond of trust began to form between the monkey and the big cat. She cradled the baby between her front paws as though she understood that this was a baby and that it was her responsibility to protect him from harm. While mixed-species animal relationships are not unknown in captivity, this is very unusual in the wild. But what would happen when the other lions found the baby? Lions are, as we have already said, social creatures, and they travel in groups known as prides. The lioness's pride soon became curious about her newfound companion and came to investigate. Instead of surrendering the baby to the pride, the lioness quickly chased the other lions away. This was not unusual behavior in lion prides. While the male lions are the largest and most powerful cats of the pride, it is the female lions which generally run the pride, catch prey, and decide how it will be distributed among the group. The baboons had had his second lucky escape of the day. During the ruckus between the lioness and the rest of her pride, a canny male adult baboon approached the scene. He'd been keeping an eye on the baby throughout. It's possible that the baby's mother had been his mate. When the lions began to bicker over the baby and the lioness was chasing off the adult male lions, the male baboons leaped into action. He scooped the baby from the grass by picking him up in his mouth and headed for the safety of the trees. The lioness's job was complete and the baby was back among his own kind. The male baboons and the baby baboons look happy together. The baby is past its moment of peril, and all thanks to the astonishing actions of the lioness. We wonder if baboons can communicate effectively with each other and whether the father will tell the son of the day that a lion saved his life. Of course, it's entirely possible that the father thought that the lioness was saving the baby as a tasty snack for later. After all, that's normally what a lion would be doing with the baby monkey, eating it. It's an incredible thing to have witnessed. Animals often form unusual friendships in captivity. There are dozens of examples online of goat, chicken, or cat, dog-style friendships, but these come from being raised and reared together. The lioness's actions were unique because they took place in the wild. Nature normally has no room for sentimentality. Predators will always want to become the strongest, and they do so by eating prey. The baboon story shows how important it is to never give up hope and how, even when things look really bad, they may just turn out okay in the end.